Who are the nicest celebrities you have met? My mum saw Liam Neeson in a bar and went up to say hi to him. When she did, a waitress tried to tell her the bar was closed. Liam Neeson then intervened and said she was a friend and pulled up a chair for her. He then talked to her for 15 minutes. A really nice guy. Craig Robinson aka Darryl from The Office. Met him at the Borgata a few years ago and had a couple beers and at the poker bar. Dude has stories for ages and is a great conversationalist. Tom Hardy. Met him at the Venom premiere. All the other actors signed 1 or 2 autographs or took pictures. But Tom Hardy started at the beginning of the line of people waiting and took pictures and signed autographs with all of them. He was there for an hour. I met Brian Johnson, the lead singer of AC/DC, at a restaurant. He was up at the bar with Phil Knight and he couldn't have been nicer. I talked to him for about 15 minutes. Got to tell him that I play music, because when I was a kid AC/DC made me want to play music. My mom was with us, and he was really polite and funny. When our food came we went to sit down. After we were finished eating my mom and I, who were not sitting at the bar, were trying to decide whether we should go up to say bye to him. We didn't want to be rude, but at the same time, didn't want to be annoying and go up and say goodbye to someone we barely know. He came up to our table to say bye to us and said if we see him around again, to not be a stranger. He was a really nice guy. Tom Hanks is notorious. My friend is an Uber driver and told me one day that he was sitting at a stoplight and saw Tom standing on the sidewalk. For some reason he decided to shout "Hi Forrest" at him and Tom gave him this wave. It's so refreshing to hear stories about actors embracing roles that they played instead of getting mad if someone does something like this. Harry Styles gets us coffee on his way into the studio. PA's at a private music studio, so there was 2 to 5 of us at a time. He was great the whole time, genuine guy. Steve-O. Went to one of his comedy shows in 2014 or 2015 with my ex for our anniversary. And before anyone asks, yes he was sober and yes he still got naked. He had a show after ours, but he made sure to take a selfie with every one of us who wanted one and signed merchandise. My ex is 6'7", and I'm 5'3". He saw on in the crowd and was cracking jokes like, "Damn he's a big fella. Ma'am, are you being held against your will? Are you kidnapped?" Blink twice for yes. He is a pretty good dude. Stanley. Stood in line to meet him at E3 in 2004. He was very friendly and sincerely appreciated how much admiration I and the hundreds of other people in line had for him and his contribution to comic books. I drove all the way from Michigan to see Kevin Smith do a Q&A in New Jersey. He was on stage for over 7 hours. At one point he had to lay down on the stage because he's been standing for so long, but he kept going. After all that, he still went back to his comic book store and signed autographs for people. I will eternally be a fan of his. Contrary to his on-screen persona, Jeremy Paxman is a very pleasant chap to be around. Good sense of humor, very friendly, and will cheerfully grab beers for everyone when he gets up. Matthew McConaughey. Met him at an airport. I was an employee, and he had some TSA questions. Genuinely nice. We had a great chat for about 15 minutes. After he was set, we shook hands. He had his kids all thank me individually and shake my hand as well. His wife was reserved but nice as well. When he then hopped in the TSA line, everyone freaked out in line and was taking pictures, swooning, etc. He looked me dead in the eye from across the terminal and gave me a light wave again and turned out around chuckling a bit. Very good social interaction. Would participate again. Met Steven Tyler about 4 to 5 summers ago while I was in Italy. Walked by this linen clothing store that was blasting music at around 10 PM, and he was the only one inside, dancing and talking to the employees. He came outside to sign an autograph for two girls, and as he turned to go back in we made eye contact. All I could think to say was you're Steven Tyler. And he just replies hell yeah I am. I asked him for a picture, and he said hell yeah, and pulled my friends and I close and snapped one. He was definitely a little drunk, but man he couldn't have been a more fun, nice guy. Jack Black once came into the movie theater I used to work at. He accidentally spilled his popcorn all over the front row of the theater. I saw this and went over to clean it up, but he told me to have a seat. Took my broom and dustpan and cleaned it up himself. Awesome guy. I met Peter Dinklage at the premiere of Pixels. It was free. I don't want to hear it. And he was a really cool guy. I didn't get to speak with him for very long, but he seemed genuinely grateful when I told him I loved his acting in everything from Elf to Game of Thrones. He even apologized for having to cut our chat short to get to his seat. But he did say that it was a pleasure talking with a fan who wasn't just gushing at him. I would love to meet him again, if only to bask in the glory of his epic beard. Already mentioned this story, but Zac Efron. He was filming at my old work overnight, and I did not even recognize him. Came into our office between shoots and watched a movie with us, Armageddon if I remember correctly. We just chatted for 2 hours and essentially hung out. It was only after I went home and put 2 and 2 together that I realized I just hung out with a former teenage heartthrob of all the girls in my high school. The next night he thanked me for not freaking out by a star and asking for an autograph. I gather he is not used to being treated as a normal guy by people. Met Bruce Willis in Miami years ago in airport terminal. Had a pleasant conversation with him, not about acting before he asked if I wanted to go grab a cup of coffee. I was departing soon so I couldn't. The bad part of this story was that I had seen WWE wrestler Eddie Guerrero earlier in the same airport that morning, and he was a real ass. On both occasions I kept it real low-key and never asked either for an autograph. Ryan Dunn. Met him in Ybor City, Tampa, Florida, when Steve-O was doing live tours and ran into Dunn at a Yager Mr. Bar. Super friendly guy. Bought me shots. Met his brother too. All those guys are cool as hell. Met Quentin Tarantino at a bar in Austin. He was by himself, so I just said hi. We ended up talking for near an hour and he covered my bar tab. Nice dude. Talks really fast. Thank you for watching Internet's Funniest. Please like, share, and subscribe.